Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 4 p.m. news and weather update at 4 p.m. I want to bring your attention to a story in Carteret County about a shootout that happened earlier this morning. It happened around 8:30 a.m. at a vacant home on 9-Foot Road just outside of Newport in Carteret County. Deputies say a man was legally conducting business at the property when he was confronted by a man who was apparently squatting at the home. After a verbal dispute, deputies say the squatter fired multiple shots at the victim. Now, the victim made his way back to his vehicle, deputies say, got his own gun, and returned fire in self-defense. Deputies say the squatter ran from the scene, and they continued to search for him. He is described as a white man, approximately 6 feet tall, wearing a dark hooded sweatshirt, toboggan, and jeans. Deputies say he may still be armed. Anyone with information on the gunman should call deputies at 252-726-1911. You can find that number there at the bottom of your screen. And now we want to turn to the latest from Venezuela, as President Trump met recently with opposition leader in Venezuela. NBC's Peter Alexander has more.
With Venezuela's future still very much in flux, the country's opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado, surrounded by a crush of cameras, making a highly anticipated trip to Washington. The recent Nobel Peace Prize winner meeting with President Trump and revealing a remarkable symbolic gesture.
I presented the President of the United States the medal of the Nobel Peace Prize and the recognition for his unique commitment with our freedom.
Overnight, a White House official telling NBC News the president kept the medal, a prize he has long pined for. President Trump later posting, "Maria presented me with her Nobel Peace Prize for the work I have done. Such a wonderful gesture of mutual respect." Still, the committee behind the award says once the Nobel Prize is announced, it cannot be revoked, shared, or transferred to others. Overnight, Machado explained why she did it anyway.
Because he deserves it. And it was a very emotional moment.
Immediately after that stunning U.S. military raid that captured Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro, President Trump dismissed Machado as a possible replacement for the authoritarian leader.
She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect.
The president instead praising Venezuela's now interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, despite her being a Maduro loyalist who has cracked down on dissent within the country.
She's somebody that we've worked with very well.
The White House noting Rodriguez supported the U.S.'s sale of $500 million worth of Venezuelan oil this week.
They have thus far met all of the demands and requests of the United States and of the president.
All of it as the U.S. is again flexing its muscles in that region. American forces seizing another oil tanker that the Department of Homeland Security accused of illegally bypassing sanctions. The ship, called the Veronica, the 6th tanker intercepted by the U.S. in less than 2 months.
And again, that was Peter Alexander reporting. We now turn to your weather forecasts, and it's looking less and less likely that we will see snow accumulations coming up this Sunday. Air temperatures right now still certainly cool, but mid-40s certainly won't bring snow to eastern North Carolina. That's exactly where we're at right now. Of course, today's temperatures don't really have any sort of big impact on what we're going to see coming up on Sunday, but do at least want to mention it. We've got a south-southwesterly wind that's blowing in at about 7 to 15 miles an hour, and that's going to help keep our air temperatures from dropping too much overnight tonight. Now, usually when we've got clear skies and very dry air, as you can see here by your dew points that measure humidity, dew points very, very low right now. Very dry air set up over the east, and that's going to allow air temperatures to fluctuate a little bit more. But that southwesterly wind is going to persist overnight tonight, and that's going to help keep those air temperatures from dropping too far below freezing. Some areas closer to I-95 may end up around 29, 30, 31 degrees, but it's going to be brief. We'll be back up above freezing throughout eastern North Carolina by the time we get to 8 a.m., if not certainly by 9 a.m. So by that point, most of the east is going to be in the low 40s. 47 degrees by 10, 53 by 11, 57 by noon, and then it's hello to the low 60s as we make our way into the afternoon. Now, during that time period, we will see cloud cover gradually try to thicken up over the region. It's not going to again be completely overcoming on Saturday morning, but by Saturday evening we'll certainly see quite a bit more cloud cover than blue skies. Here's a look at that cold front coming in, and that right there is the problem, is that cold front is not going to be moving fast enough to get off the coast early enough Sunday morning to give us the cold air behind it. Right now, it looks like air temperatures may be staying in the upper 30s, possibly even getting into, some models are even suggesting the low 40s coming up on Sunday. That's going to mean it is going to be straight up rain for the majority of the day. I know we've been talking about snow this week. Unfortunately, it's easier said than done here in eastern North Carolina, and despite still the opportunity for a few flakes coming in at the tail end of the system, it's certainly not going to be impacting drivers by that much. Now, we could end up with some slick spots on the roads Sunday night into Monday morning, but I'm not anticipating, again, widespread hazards. It's really the areas that are going to be seeing little to no treatment as far as brine is concerned from the DOT. So secondary roads, and especially roads that have trees that overhang, those roads again don't really warm up quite as fast in the morning. So once we break out back in the sunshine as we head into really your Monday morning, Monday midday, everything again is going to be melting away. That will end up sticking on the roads. I don't think much is actually going to be sticking on the roads, but there is that opportunity because overnight low is going to drop down into the low 20s. So coming up for Sunday, it is a wet day that could see some snowflakes mix in at the tail end of the day. From there, it's sunny skies for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Tuesday, and Wednesday, with the next round of rain showing up by Thursday night, even extending potentially into your Friday morning. But we'll see another round of rain coming up as we head to the following weekend. Air temperatures for those rain events going to be above freezing, so it does not look like we are going to be seeing any snowfall in the forecast. At least will accumulate on roads or concrete surfaces over the next 8 days. Now, that's all we have time for today's 4 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up I believe Monday morning, 7:10 a.m. with Jim and Gigi. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. We'll be back coming up on Monday.